da. Možeš otići na spanje u 9, tako razumiješ.
U 9:13 je postao vodne stvari. Znači tokom je onda otišao. Put je pozdravljen.
Zdravlje. Posjednut.
Dragon Age came out, and Dragon Age became an unfortunate battleground for, you know, the video game culture war, where, you know, you had characters that were turned into effectively like modern representations of like gender politics, and in general, it seemed like this game took like every opportunity that it could to take advantage of like a current social issue. It did that in spades. And I played Dragon Age a lot, and so when I'm talking about this, I didn't finish the game, but I played it for 135 hours. About half of that probably was me just leaving the game on overnight, but I went through pretty much every character, companion, full storyline, and I almost completed the main story, but I didn't finish it out.
I won't give up.
So, basically this game came out, and it came out to raving, tremendous reviews. Everybody was saying this game was going to be insane. But anyway, so Jason Schreier made a tweet when the game came out, and he said, go, oops, top the charts. And this was to make fun of the people who were talking about how like, oh, this game being woke is going to kill the game. And it's going to be, oh, this game is going to be unsuccessful, right? Well, so actually, I actually don't like the game very much, but I do like seeing you chuds get dunked on. And so Jason Schreier, unfortunately, was captured by an ideology and decided to leave the element of reality. And unfortunately, we're snapping back to reality today. The sales for this game were 50% of what they were expected. The game was projected to have 3 million players, and it had 1.5 million. And also, this is players, so keep in mind, let's use some logic here, all right? We're gonna talk about logic. A company releases data from their shareholder report. Shareholder reports are meant to ensure like competence and confidence in the shareholders, right? Like they're meant to raise the value of the company and communicate the value in a way that is most beneficial for the people that are running the company. So if you look at this logic, if they said 1.5 million players and they did not say sales, that means that probably the 1.5 million players is the most positive metric that they could use that is factually true. So it would even go to assume that it was under 50% of the sales expectations. Do you see kind of what I'm saying here? Because it would be logical that in the shareholder report, they would want to report the data points that would be most advantageous to them. And so if 50% is your best case scenario, think about what the actual reality is for the sales. Game Pass, beta, promotional copies, yeah. Yeah, think about that. Yeah, that's the best case scenario. I played it, but I refunded it. I think the game had some decent combat, and you know, it had decent character building I enjoyed, but overall, I'm not surprised why this happened. And so we're going to look at some of the information about this, and we're going to see how the game did. So obviously there was a lot of celebration when Dragon Age Veilguard first released, because the game seemed to have a lot of players. It had 90,000 players.
I can still fight.
It's been floundering, and it has 3,000 players. To be fair, this is a single-player game, and the majority of people that would have played the game have already played the game, and they've moved on. But unfortunately, for at least them, not a lot of the people even moved in the first place.
Help, please!
So if you go to the Dragon Age Veilguard subreddit, you'll see that
not
you
killing
have a
me when
bunch
they
of
had the chance.
twit-longers and
S.W.Frost is now live streaming Diablo 4 digital artist in look for hunt event redeem codes.
Currently lacks an executive no, it's none of that had to do, like, there's an executive, no, this is the problem. My advice to fans, look at the game The Identity. How many of these games have to fail and cause a studio to close in order for people to realize that putting in divisive social issues inside of a video game divides people? And when you divide people, well,
Stay
I
back.
don't know.
They're
I guess
hiding
they
in the
did
caves.
divide people. They divided them by about half. That's what happens. Too bad, huh? If you put divisive content into your game, you're going to have people that are divided. That's it. And so you have to ask yourself the question, when you're putting stuff like that into your games that you know that people won't like and will have a massive negative reception on social media, ask yourself the honest question, is this good for the company? Is it good for the long-term health of the company, the employees, and the product that you use it as a battleground for what your social ideology is? And it sure seems like the answer to that question here is very much a no. So, we can expect to see probably the studio that make this game get either shut down or massively resized. We're probably going to see dozens, if not hundreds of people lose their jobs. And the only thing that I have to say about it is rip Bozo. You make garbage that nobody wants.
Milan.
That's the way it goes.
Yes. Kes man
I don't teach the bastards.
Right. Make a bad product.
Vermin slunk back off the
Kes otišla što da pojede koz.
Game director already left the grid. Yeah, she roached out so fast. She's already gone, and they're not even hiring anybody for the studio. That means that they're basically going through the motions of getting rid of her. So yeah. EA shares dropped by 15%. Oh, let's take a look at that. EA stocks. Huh. That's pretty bad. Yeah. Yeah. That's almost as bad as Trump coin. Ooh. Ooh. Ouch. Eesh. You don't like seeing numbers like that, boys. Not so good. When was Veilguard released? I don't remember. It was like a few months ago, right? Like probably somewhere around here, right? Yeah, I don't know. But either way, yeah, massive fucking failure for EA. And it's going to cause, see, if you lose, think about that. You're losing 28% of your money. That means if you had $10,000 invested in EA, now you have $7,500 invested in EA. Right? Well, actually a little bit less than that. About $7,000, or to be completely accurate, $7.11 or $12,000. So, yeah, it's a huge amount of fucking money that you're losing, okay, guys? Massive, massive amount of money that you're losing. And so, that's basically what happened.
It's too
Thank
quiet.
God.
Where have
And
the
I hope
survivors
that
gone?
this serves as a lesson to a lot of the other game developers that when you do something like this and you put content out there and your game sucks, you're gonna be out of a fucking job. They've ruined so many games. Yep, that's right. So Dragon Age Veilguard has just cost investors 20% of their money. Not direct. I'm sure there were other confounding factors, but it was definitely a very big factor. And so Jason Schreier with the, go woke, be the top of the charts. Well, I guess that's not what happened. It's certainly not. And apparently he even deleted the posts that he made talking about this. Now, I like Jason and I respect him as a journalist, but I think that he's gone too far with thinking about this stuff. And I think that a lot of these like social issues have caused people to lose their objectivity, and they've made people accept realities that simply do not exist. And I think that in the process of that, you see a lot of people that have genuine talent and genuine like ability to do good. You see them basically gaslight themselves into living in a false reality.